who decided because of the announcement of Christopher Eccleston returning to play the Ninth Doctor in Big Finish Productions' new. Because but that one's already been done. But that one's already. Sorry about this, future me. So, in this scene, so the scene opens with the Metaltron. The scene opens with the Ninth Doctor running up to try and face the Metaltron Dalek, of Henry Van Statten's of Henry Van Stack. The Dalek blasts the hole in the. The Doctor then arrives and points the gun at the Dalek after. According to the Dalek Handbook, which is just up here above my original Whoology copy, this is apparently the first time we see a Dalek mutant properly in the new series. In the series, it's not a solid argument, but Rose does manage to capture. It's not a solid argument, but Billy Piper manages to capture the argument pretty perfect. And Christopher Eccleston is just on point as the Doctor in these scenes. It's also around here where the Dalek starts to. It's here the Dalek reveals that the Dalek then questions why it survives, and the Doctor eventually drops the bombshell that the Dalek is not just. The Dalek starts to question why they survive, and eventually the Dalek. Christ. The Dalek wonders why the Dalek. The Dalek asks why the Dalek survives, and then the Doctor drops the bombshell where that the Dalek is not just the last Dalek, but because of its regeneration with even the final shot. The penultimate shot of the episode actually sees the Doctor seemingly sad about the Dalek's death. The penultimate shot even suggests the Doctor is sad at the Dalek's demise. Perhaps he finally felt sorry. The penultimate shot of the episode. The penultimate shot of the scene actually shows the Doctor sad. Perhaps he felt as the Dalek as Rose does agree to order the Dalek to kill itself, and as Rose finally agrees to terminate. As Rose finally orders the as Rose finally orders the Dalek to be with a pretty interesting way of killing itself with the sensor globes around the casing, making us a cube. No, spear, and and this scene definitely kicks in with the heartstrings as it's very important showing before realizing that he is not that type of person. He is not the Dalek has also been changing, and that story comes and would rather be. But the Doctor is able to find peace with Rose Tyler and those who help him out on his track, which will lead on to the finale of the series where he ultimately cannot decide. Which leads to a scene. My good friend Jean-Luc Harry did a video on this on the Universals as one of the. But ultimately, Dalek. But in short, the Dalek, and eventually you have to find, and eventually the Doctor decides to, and eventually the Doctor finds peace, but the Dalek decides to die, and it shows the Doctor, and I find this a very powerful scene for the episode, and it shows Christopher Eccleston, Billy Piper, and Nicholas Briggs as the voice of the Dalek, having their acting a bit, and the acting a bit, and this Marigold's music score, and it's just and it brings the Time War stuff and it all combinating in the winter, all combinating, all convoluting, where the Doctor will do a one. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne bonus content YouTube channel.